Recently, the Charity of Hope held a fundraiser in Hamilton, Ontario, and their guest speaker for the evening was Sarah Palin. And Connie Smith, who is the host of the CTS program Always Good News, was the only journalist granted an interview. Now, we're going to give you a short segment in a moment, but I should say this, that she's controversial, she's a bit of a lightning rod. Crossroads does not take any political stance, and in running this interview, we are just simply running the interview because it's of interest. There was a lot of general interest from the major media outlets, but for her own reasons, she gave an exclusive interview to CTS. And so we thought that for the purposes of just letting you know that she was here and that she gave this interview, we wanted to just let you in on it. And the full interview is available on the website if you want to get more than what we're able to give you here at this time. And so she sat down with Connie Smith, who is with CTS, Always Good News, and this is some of what she had to say.
Governor, first of all, I must say, this is where I'm at in your book.
My
I'm
goodness.
almost there.
Thank you for reading the book.
I couldn't imagine anyone reading your book and not jumping up and cheering every time you take on these old boys clubs, these politics as usual institutions. I mean,
well, I think
it's incredible.
I keep thinking, you know, anybody would have done the same thing. I was just blessed to have these opportunities to go ahead and get in there and shake some things up and do some things right, and make sure that my community and some of the places that I've worked in the past and then my state were put on the right track and corruption was ended. And I just happened to be the one that was granted these opportunities, and I've been very, very grateful for all of them.
So do you recommend going rogue?
Yes, absolutely. You know, Lou Holtz, I'm going to talk about this tonight in the speech. Coach Lou Holtz from Notre Dame had said, God didn't put us on this earth to be ordinary. And my dad always says life's too short to be stuck in a rut. I think of those two things all the time, and I think, okay, if there was an opportunity there to go rogue, but in a good, positive, productive, and constructive way to see some positive results, yeah, I recommend go rogue, kind of shake it up a little bit, don't be ordinary, and wow, the manifestations of blessings that you will see as a result are pretty astounding.
You talk about faith, it's an important part of your life. How did it evolve during this whole period? Because, I mean, your private life became public, and I know how hard it was on your family. How did your faith evolve and change with that journey?
Yeah, faith pulled me through because it was absolutely ridiculous. We were unprepared for what was going to happen with the media onslaught in regards to some misrepresentations and misreporting about my family and my values and my administration, my state. So faith is what I had to hold on to, and I would just remember those things that I have read in Proverbs and in the Psalms, just promising that, yeah, there's, in layman's terms, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's darker before the dawn, but you're going to get there. You're going to be able to pull through. I would hold on to those things that have meant so much to me that are all based on my faith, and that's what's gotten us through this.
I want to ask you about motherhood, because throughout the book you also talk about how the big boys, they took you on because you had kids, but they wouldn't take on a male candidate because they had kids.
You've probably been through that too. I'm
well,
sure
I'll
in your
tell
career.
you. I'm
sure.
I've run into a few old boys clubs, yeah. I'll tell you. However, ironically, you say that being a mother helped you be a better politician.
It sure does. It helps, and I wish some of the good old boys would wake up and realize that. I think that a mom, a busy mom, has no time to waste to play some kind of political power struggle games and be into titles and some things that are on the periphery that really just get in the way of getting the job done, because we are busy, because we are focused on making sure that things are done and done the right way, and we're always having a long view of the solutions that we seek. We're looking out for our kids' future.
We
multitask. What we're doing. Have to multitask. I think that makes for opportunity for us to make really good decisions.
You talk near the end of the book too about how you've learned to read the signposts in life, looking back. Yeah. Where are your signposts taking you now? They brought you to Canada.
Yeah.
What's next for Sarah Palin?
I don't know politically what is next for me. I do believe that it is a wise thing for us to put our lives in our Creator's hands. I put my life in God's hands, and I say I'm going to do the best that I can every day to help bring some positive change to people who perhaps need some help, need opportunity too. But that's what I'm going to do day to day, not necessarily knowing what will bring to my family, to my country, to my life in the next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, but certainly wanting to help others who are facing challenges too. What I find after this year and a half of, some would call it a tumultuous ride, others would call it, I call it a very exciting and full ride that Todd and my family and I have really been on, I realize that everybody has challenges, everybody has battles. Some are played out on the front page of the newspaper perhaps, some of our challenges have been. Other people maybe don't go through that, but they still have their challenges. And if I can help provide some encouragement, some inspiration, some hope for them to get through their battles and make good decisions and get through a challenge, because that's what we've been able to do, then I'm going to stay focused on that. And whether that's on a local level in my own little town of Wasilla,
or in the Oval Office.
If it's right, then we will pursue that.
Well, certainly you've changed the path ahead for other women in politics, Governor, and I'm sure that must be satisfying to know you've done that.
It's satisfying, but I have been very blessed to stand on the shoulders of others who have gone before I have, those who fought so hard for equality and fought for women's rights. Heck, the right to vote for women, which wasn't that long ago, that we did not even enjoy. The women in my country, and we had not enjoyed such a benefit, such a right. So no, the women who have gone before me and forged a path, I stand on their shoulders, and I do hope to do the same though for other women who are going to be following footsteps.
Thank you for carrying the torch,
Thank
Governor.
you.
And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, you too.
Oh, and I have something for you.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go.
Thank you.
It's a little mug from our TV
Oh,
station.
very good. I'm happy to. Very good.
CTS is television you can believe in.